we knew year one under the new regime, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell would be a rough one, but we weren't ready for how rough it was actually going to be. The Lions were in a ton of games, and we didn't get our first win until week 13. I actually went to L.A. to see the Lions versus Matthew Stafford, and we actually led that game going into the fourth quarter. So you could see it was like 2021, we were almost there. We were competitive, but we just didn't know how to finish. And then we finally got that first win in week 13 for 2021. Year two rolls around of the regime, and we start off pretty rough. Go 1-6, and I think we were in more of those games than we were in 2021. It was a lot of shoulda, coulda. We should have beat the Minnesota Vikings. We should have made the Seattle Seahawks punt, and the list goes on and on. And now, year three. It's amazing how fast we got to year three, because I remember when Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, when they came and they did their press conference, they kind of pointed to 2023 to be the year to really expect something for the Detroit Lions. And 2022, you could say they exceeded expectations. And I must give credit to not only Dan Campbell, but Brad Holmes for the long-term plan that he has. He's a long-term type of guy. And us fans, sometimes we can get a little ahead of ourselves. I know you guys criticize every time somebody becomes a free agent that I want to sign them. Oh, I'm glad you're not our GM. I wouldn't sign a lot of these guys either, but you have to take a look at them if you want game-changing players. But Brad Holmes is in charge, not me, not you, and he has turned this organization around with the long game. And the gratification is coming sooner or later than sooner, right? And now we finally hit year three of this regime. Now, some of you think that we are still in a rebuild, and me personally, I believe the rebuild is over. I think the expectations for the Detroit Lions, as we talked about in the last video, are pretty lofty, probably higher than they've been in a very long time. So this year is going to be something special, in my opinion. But the crazy part is that this is the beginning. I think last year, 2021 was rough. It was rough. We were criticized when we won our first game. People were talking about we celebrated like we won to the Super Bowl. Like we should have known how to act. And I tell them, hush. We were the first team to go 0-16. So if we win one and avoid the first team to go 0-17, we're going to celebrate. Year two comes around, and we have better expectations, but we didn't. It was tough. But we could see the turn from 1-6 to 8-2 in the last 10 games. And now year three is here. But not only year three, we have something to look forward to. We have sustainability. And I think for the first time in a long time, longer than I've been watching, the Detroit Lions are going to have sustained success, right? We've seen 2011. Everybody knew we were going to get eviscerated by the New Orleans Saints. 2014 is the closest we came, and we all know what happened there. And then 2016, we barely got in, and we got bounced right back out. We haven't had sustainable success, and I think that we are going to have that for years to come. And let me tell you why I said that. Shout out to Pride of Detroit. They got a good article. I'll link everything in the description. But I want to show you something as to why not only this year, the expectations are very high in year three, because as I stated earlier in this video, this is the year when Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell took over. It was almost like this. I think Brad actually said, like, this is a couple years playing. And I know that they have every intention, even though they try to play it off, they got every intention to be competitive and to take names and chew bubblegum, and they're all out of bubblegum, right? This is the year. But I wanted to show you, this comes from Jason OTC. And here's a tweet from a few days ago. It says, a quick look at how much teams have riding on the 2023 NFL season. Now, if you look to the left over here, this says 2024 undrafted free agents, 30% plus snaps in 2022. But down here, it says 2024 cap room with carryover. And here are the Detroit Lions, one of just 5 teams that are completely in this quadrant. Okay, so if you line this up here, the Detroit Lions look like they're going to have right around $90 million. Now, that estimate has ranged between 85 and 105, really. But according to this tweet here, it looks like we're going to have at least somewhere around, we can just say, $88 to $92 million in cap room. That's with carryover. That is the highest that I've seen like in a long time. This year, we didn't have that much. Last year, we had even less. And we keep talking about how next year we're going to have more money than we've had in a long time. And we didn't have too much to work with last year. We had even more this year, and then we got even more next year. But what does this mean? If we go down here, Jason says teams in the bottom right are the ones who are likely going to be active in free agency or with early extensions in 2024. Now, I'm going to read that again. Teams in the bottom right, which are the Detroit Lions right here, are the ones who are likely going to be active in free agency or with early extensions. I don't want to get ahead of the year because football comes, it takes forever to get here. We have just over 80 days, I believe, until we kick off against Kansas City. We've got like maybe 50-something before preseason begins. As a matter of fact, Jared Goff and his fiance are in Italy, I believe, right now. So they're having a great time, gearing up for the season ahead. But after this season, the Detroit Lions are going to have around $90 million in cap space. And again, teams in the bottom right are the ones who are likely going to be active in free agency or with early extensions in 2024. You know who's going to need an extension in 2024? Probably. Who's going to get an extension? St. Brown. You know who probably will be extended? Jared Goff. I know some of y'all probably are cringing right now, but Jared Goff will be extended next year. I fully believe that. Especially if he has, if we do everything that we're expected to do as a team, Jared Goff is going to be the one leading us there. And he will be extended. So that $90 million, all those big names that you think I want, all those game changers that I do want, they can come next year. Brad Holmes, I must say, being a Detroit Lions fan, you have years and years and decades of frustration of being able to see when there's not being able to see when there's a good thing right in front of you. I was very critical of Brad Holmes last year, very critical of Dan Campbell last year with some of his play calling. But year one with Brad Holmes, when I remember specifically bringing back Khalif Raymond, bringing back Alex Anzalone, and both of them guys balled out. But my reaction to that was less than stellar. So I see what he was doing now. I see the 1-year deals, the 2-year deals. Brad Holmes is very stingy with multi-year deals. He is extremely thrifty, right? You really have to earn a multi-year deal with the Detroit Lions and its current management. Got to give kudos again. The unsung hero in this situation is Sheila Hemp. I think she also have to shake the stigma of her mom and dad, right? And how they control the team. So the Detroit Lions, being a Lions fan right now, you literally it cannot be a better time to be a Lions fan because not only are our expectations lofty this year, this is the beginning of something special. I think it's already begun with the hiring of those two gentlemen and with Sheila taking over, but we had to crawl before we can walk. But now, not only is this the year, this is the year, ladies and gentlemen. This is the year. I said it. I'm putting it out there. Not only is this the year, but this is sustainable. We could be around. We will be around. Remember Dan Campbell said we can and we will for the 2022 Detroit Lions. We can and we will be around for quite some time. Let me know what you think in the comments below about your Detroit Lions and the future success. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. But listen, one more thing. I am in the process, as we hit the 10-minute mark, I'm sorry, guys, of changing things. The green screen eventually will be gone. My intent is to open the season in my full-blown studio setup. So there might be some times that I miss a day of videos. I miss a couple of days of videos because they're essentially happening in the same spot. So that's how this is going to go. The green screen is probably going to be retired at the end of this year. Maybe I'll pull it back out when this year starts. I just wanted to let y'all know, keep y'all in the loop. But my dreams are coming true, man, of what I wanted to do. So, again, take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.